Everybody ready? Good. Then let's get going. Nearly forgot you guys. Oh, it is perishing out here, but it is a lovely bright day, so it's just a matter of putting some extra layers on and then we can enjoy it. So a very warm welcome back to the channel despite the temperature today. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and New Year, and hopefully plans were not interrupted and you got to enjoy it, see your loved ones if that's what you wanted to do, or not if you didn't want to do it. Anyway, hope you had the perfect Christmas for you and a very happy New Year. I thought it would be a good start to the year to kick off the channel introductions, if you like, with a bit of a rundown as to what's coming up in the year itself. And there's a very big announcement coming up in a moment. Well, big for the channel, maybe not important in terms of life, but there we go. Anyway, the channel's coming up 3 years old now. I've had the caravan much longer than that, so the caravan's coming up for 5, I guess, sometime in the middle of February. But the channel is coming up for 3, and I have some exciting plans to try and make a little, hopefully slightly comedy video to try and celebrate that. Whether I pull it off is another matter. Whether I can find the time to edit it in the way, you know, you have these big visions sometimes, and sometimes you pull them off and sometimes you don't. But I'm going to give it a go, so fingers crossed, and bear with me if I'm a little slow on the uptake. You know, there's a family and a business to run and goodness knows what else going on. Anyway, that's the plan for the birthday celebration. But there's a big announcement, and that is 3 years ago when I started the channel. You know, I had this grand vision, as you do, for what I wanted to achieve on the channel itself, and I was expecting to do a lot more mum-based content, you know, tips for solo parent caravanning, that sort of thing, and I was hoping the kids would get involved a lot more, but they haven't been interested in doing that, and that's happening less and less often. I mean, you know, one's been a teenager for a few years now, and the other one will officially become one in a few weeks' time. God, I need to get ready. So I will officially have 2 teenagers in the house, and God, there's nothing more embarrassing than being caught on video with your embarrassing and strange mum, is there? Anyway, so they're wanting to play less and less of a role, and I haven't got around to making the sort of content that I expected to at the beginning. But I have been putting out a lot of sort of sciencey stuff, so, you know, trying to use my skills and expertise to study what on earth is going on in this caravan, for example. So there was the vlog back in October, the end of October, about the condensation and humidity in here and what's actually happening. So trying to dispel some of the myths and theories that people have based on anecdotes. I wanted to put some proper sensors in here and measure actually what was going on. So I'll link above to that if you haven't seen that video yet. But that was a fun bit of thing, you know, to try and use some of the science skills I've got to implement some stuff and actually dispel some of the myths out there. So that was great fun. So I'd love to do some more of that. You know, there's been a lot of makes and mods and those sort of thing. They are related to solo parent caravanning in the sense that all the little fixes I've done, mods, all the, you know, little bits and pieces that have been added have been to make the whole process of being an adult on your own with children, you know, much smoother and much easier. So everything has been just to make that whole pack up and set down, which can be, I mean, I know it takes somebody who's on their own twice as long as somebody who's part of a well-oiled machine of a couple to get set up, but by God, when you've got little ones, it can take even longer than twice as long. You know, these days as teens, you know, my boys are wonderful. And they're fantastically well trained these days. So, you know, we get to a site and they know exactly who's doing what, or at least they know the rough list of jobs that need doing, and they actually volunteer. I think maybe the eldest one under duress, because he just wants to get on with it, and especially when we're packing up to go home, he just wants to go home to his own bedroom and be alone and not have to speak to anybody. But you know, they're a brilliantly well-oiled team these days, the kids. Maybe less so when my husband comes along with us, because he has not had the practice on the checklist, and he's very clever, so he thinks he knows what he's doing. But anyway, has produced some arguments with the kids as to who's in charge. But that is maybe a subject not to be mentioned ever again, or for another video. Anyway, so there's been lots of mods, lots of sciencey type stuff, not a lot of mum type stuff, which is why I was getting increasingly concerned throughout 2021, and definitely at the end of it, that there wasn't much consistency between the title of the channel, which is Caravanning with Mum on a Mission, and the content itself. So the big change is that I want to change the title of the channel, and hopefully that will bring it more consistent with the content that's happening within the channel itself. And hopefully, you know, it won't, I don't know if it's putting people off from watching. You know, you chaps will have to tell me if you see a title that says, you know, here's some stuff for mothers. Do you watch? Do you not watch? Anyway, I need to stop waffling, and let's get into it, and I'll show you what it is. So here we go with a new intro. Alright, so that's it. Caravanology. I hope you love it. I've got everything crossed that you love it. Or at least if you don't love it, I hope it makes sense and I hope it grows on you. Why Caravanology? Well, obviously this is a caravan channel primarily, so there's a lot of caravan type stuff going on. Ology. Why ology? Well, ology is about the study of things, right? So implementing things that make caravanning life easier, and me as a caravaner reflecting on what's going on and how I'm traveling on my own or with the kids or whatever, and how to make life easier, and then implementing that. So that's sort of like the study, isn't it? Anyway, but the study of the perfect art of caravanning is far too long a channel title, hence we'll go with ology, and everybody needs an ology, don't they? So but why the accent on van? Well, I think, as probably a lot of you know, I'm towing these days with a T6 Caravelle. So it's still a van, but a very posh van. And over the last year, well, probably over the last 6 months, 9 months or so, something like that, Mike, my husband and I have been making a few additions to the van. So there's no modifications, and we haven't been doing a van build. You know, this is not van build channel, because there's an extended warranty on that very posh van. So I don't want to be doing anything that can be questioned as making a modification to the van. So we made a few additions to the van, which hopefully turns into what I'm calling the ultimate multivan. So multivan is the name used for the Caravelle on the continent, and I think actually the T7 is going to be called the multivan in the UK rather than Caravelle, and multivan makes perfect sense. So, you know, for us it's an everyday car, but it's also fantastically useful for shipping the hockey squad or the rugby squad or whatever around for school. And we also use it as an occasional camper. You'll have seen a couple of videos out last year, one from Cornwall and one where I went off with my friend for a girly weekend and just took the van for those sort of things. So, you know, for us, that combination of big tow car, albeit very flexible tow car, and small caravan is absolutely perfect for us. So I recorded all the footage that I took as part of the van modifications, and there's still a few bits and pieces being finished off. So certainly that isn't finished, and we worked on lots and lots of projects at once. So I just recorded all the footage as we went, and over the past few weeks I've been starting to put that all together, and that will be the major series of 2022. And I'll take each of those elements and talk you through what we did with the van and how it's working out. So each episode becomes a longer term study of what we did, what's working, what isn't working, and any advice we have for anybody thinking of doing something similar. Anyway, momentarily, when I finish waffling, a second video will come out, which will be the introduction to that series for anybody that's interested in that tow van side of things. And I'll try and make an episode at some point as well about the pros and cons of towing with a van instead of an SUV or a truck or something like that. Anyway, so that's why the vanology bit. So we'll have some caravanology, we'll have some vanology, and we'll just have lots of ologies. Anyway, hope you love it. That's the plan. The other things that are coming up in certainly the early part of this year are, of course, this is a caravanning channel primarily. So the first big thing is, probably the first big thing, is the NEC show. Now, at the time of recording, it's still on. That may all change in the next week or two. And I'm planning to go, hopefully, Friday and Saturday this year. Friday, I'll try and get some filming done and have a look around the show and see what's there. And I want to bring for you on the channel, you know, the sort of niche I've tried to focus on before. So that's all about small family caravans. So I'll try and pick out the optimal things there. Drop me a comment below if there's anything you want me to particularly look at. It was a bit sad to read that Swift weren't coming, because I wanted to look at the Basecamp 6 because I thought that looked really interesting, although still quite large. Anyway, we will see. Hopefully one of the dealerships will have a Basecamp 6 on their stand, because I'd like to have a look at that. And then, of course, Weinsberg and Knaus make some beautiful things. And there's Bailey Discovery Range as well, which is pretty cool. So I'll go and see what's out there, what's new for this year, and what's in the space for small family caravans. And of course, I can't resist going to look around the camper vans. So I'll try from there, instead of just trying to look at everything, because there's so much, I'll try and pick out the most innovative stuff and see what I can bring for you there. Let me know if there's anything in particular, any particular vehicles or anything you want me to cast my I guess my eye as a 5, 6, 7. How long have we owned a trailer? So we had our trailer tent a good 6 or 7, 8. Oh crikey, probably 8 or 9 years ago. So having, you know, travelled with trailers since then, if there's anything you want me to cast my eye over as a mum caravanner or a solo parent caravanner or whatever, let me know. Drop it in the comments below. And then possibly more exciting than the show, you will remember that I did that condensation vlog back in October, and there were 2 things I wanted to do as a result. And the first was to do some more extended experiments, so to repeat the experiments multiple times to make sure my results were real rather than some strange quirk in the sensors. And also to, if I could, persuade one of the manufacturers to help me with that by giving me some space in a warehouse and possibly multiple vehicles of exactly the same type, and then we could put sensors across all of them and study everything in one go. And that would have been really efficient, because it would have got rid of a lot of the problems that we might have. So we might have some data facets due to changing weather, but sadly that hasn't happened. I don't know if nobody is brave enough or has enough space, or probably they're just so bogged down in orders now that there's no time to think about that. So I don't think that's going to happen this year. Hopefully it might happen next winter, but you know, keeping everything crossed that something like that can be done. But the really exciting news is that Protec, the covers people, contacted me after that vlog was done, and they said, we'll find you a cover. They can't find me a bespoke one because I have a very unusual caravan, but they found me a generic one which hopefully fits. It hasn't arrived yet, so I'm assuming the weather is fine and all the rest of it, and no strange things happen with the caravan or with work or any of that sort of stuff. I've got planned to run that experiment, so to get some really robust data on the humidity inside a caravan and whether a cover is making any difference to that, or whether covers are simply keeping the thing clean and stopping birds pooping on it and so on. So that is really exciting. So hopefully we'll have some really good science results from that early on in the year. I'm not sure whether they'll come out before or after the show vlogs. We will have to see what progress I manage to make. So that's it. Lots of stuff coming up, lots of tow van type stuff. The van stuff will come out once a fortnight, and then the caravanning stuff will sit in between that. So hopefully there's plenty for everyone. Anyway, hope you love the new title. Thanks so much for your support. Thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. So bye for now. See ya. Oh, and a PS. I've heard that there's supposed to be a sort of YouTuber Twitter meetup thing at the NEC show. Fingers crossed it goes ahead. I'm really looking forward to that, because there are so many people I've been chatting to and watching their videos and things, and I've never met them in person, so that would be absolutely fantastic to be able to meet them. If you see me, say hello. I'll try my best to be sociable and paying attention. If it's Friday and I ignore you, it looks like I'm thinking so much about what I'm trying to film. I'm so sorry in advance. I'll try and be at the meetup thing on Saturday. If you want to say hi, it would be wonderful to meet you. I'll be the person who's about a foot shorter than everybody else. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.